intention was for this video to be mostly sailing, but instead, half of our svSomeday crew of 2 was not feeling quite up to par. I can't imagine why anyone would feel nauseous. No, really. I can't think of a single reason. So, we decided to capitalize on the non-sailing day to hit the projects list and try to scratch at least one thing off of it. Fortunately, the LifeAtSixKnots crew, who you can check out at LifeAtSixKnots.com or find them on YouTube, reminded us that we never revisited our mystery hole from episode 2. We removed the water from the hole, but never went back to see if it filled up again. So without further ado, Mystery Hole strikes back. So today we're revisiting the mystery hole in our v-berth. It has water in it again. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it looks like a place where water should go. You can see the lines where there's been multiple levels of water over whatever period of time. So what we're going to do is test the anchor locker drain to see if that's where the water's coming from. If it is, pretty easy to fix it. If it's not, then I'm not exactly sure how we're going to figure out how water is getting in there. So let's have a look. Darla is up on deck with a bucket of water, and she's going to pour it into the anchor locker, and we're going to be down here while she pours the bucket of water in to see if we can see the water coming through. That's the water that's in there now. You can hear her. You can see the water going through that tube. So I'm guessing that is not a problem.
I hear it going over the side.
She can hear it going over the side. So quite a bit of water in there. It may just be rain draining to a stanchion or something like that, but it is not going through that. So back to the drawing board, I guess. We will have to figure something else out. So since we didn't have any luck finding water coming through the anchor locker drain, we see that there's some screws on this panel here, which obviously goes to the anchor locker, but I think the next step is going to be to take those screws out and see what's behind there and see if we can find the source of the leak. There's nothing behind it.
It's just a pan.
Is that camera still on? There's nothing behind it. Look, see if you can. There's literally nothing there. There's nothing behind that. That's just decoration. Why? Why would you put that there if you didn't need it there? Was the question. All right. Well, I'm gonna put these screws back in, and that's that. So we tried to take the panel off, and turns out it's not even really a panel. There is nothing behind it except just fiberglass, like the rest of the boat. So after carefully examining all the stanchions and cleats and everything that we could find in the bow of the boat, it all appears to be sealed up except for one small thing in the anchor locker. There's a little bitty inspection port there, which seems to have some electrical wires behind it. So it's not sealed up well, and we suspect that maybe that's where water is coming through. So we are going to pour a tiny amount of water in there and see if it comes out down here. And if it does, then that's probably the source of our leakage, and we'll seal it up and keep monitoring it. If it is not the source of the leakage, then we're on to the next step. So she's going to pour water down the hole, and I'm going to be down here with the camera. Okay. There it is.
I heard that.
Yeah. It came right on down through there. But that would certainly lead me to believe that if that was leaking up there, that's where the water's coming from. So, this is the culprit. This is where water goes. If we pour a cup of water into that hole, it goes exactly to where the water is in the mystery hole in the v-berth. I don't know that I'll be able to see it on camera, but there's a little bitty place where It's not sealed. Right there. And there's another place where it's not sealed. Right here. So I guess our plan... So the plan is to remove that panel, reseal it, and then put it back in. So that's what we're gonna do. Time lapse. So instead of using the marine grade sealant, we decided to go with butyl tape in this scenario. Now, I know that Bevins recommends not using anything other than silicone, but they don't specifically tell you to not use butyl tape. So we're going to use butyl tape because it seems applicable in this situation. If there's some reason why we're not supposed to use butyl tape, then let us know. Worst case scenario, we'll just take it off and put the silicone on it anyway, so it's no big deal. So we're going to use the butyl tape and see how it goes. Maybe put a ring of silicone around the outside anyway for double protection, but that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, so we got the silicone on there and the butyl tape below it. I guess the next step would be to suck the water out of there again and wait for it to rain and see if it fills back up. She can't stand up here. What are you, crazy? Let me push this so focus. Oh, there. So, as you can see, it is once again dry. So now all we have to do is wait for it to rain a lot. Or we could simulate rain. I think we should just wait for it to rain. That's a lot more funner-ist. So we'll do that. Ready, go. Ready, break. This week was a great lesson in going with the flow and not letting small setbacks break your stride. It's kind of funny how a boat works. You end up solving tons of issues that you didn't even know you had. Hopefully we will never have a third mystery hole episode, but the way the boating world goes, I feel like we may be visiting it again. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, we would certainly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing so you don't miss our next episode. Also, don't forget to check us out at Instagram at svSomeday.